What? No, I don't want to do that.
You're going to have a great time.
No.
You might meet some new people.
No.
And even make some new friends.
No. No.
Alright, fine. I really wasn't planning on making this anytime soon, but since you guys seem to be more interested in Yusei vs Sonic, well, why the heck not? Sonic vs Yusei is a topic that, well, no one's actually talked about it. Regardless, we're gonna talk about it right now on this channel. I know this is going to cause a lot of controversy because these two characters are fan favorites among the community. I personally love these two characters. Pause. No, not in that sense. Get your dirty minds out of the gutter. Sonic has always been my favorite childhood fictional character. And as for Yusei, I mean, if there's one thing that makes Yusei well known, it's the fact that he's the only Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist that can throw hands with his enemies. And he bagged the Kiza.
This motherfucker don't miss.
Regardless of my feelings towards these characters, I'm not going to be biased with any of them, and hopefully you'll see my point of view as to why I say one of them is stronger than the other. Now with all that being said, enjoy. First, I'm going to talk about their speed, since these characters are well known to be the fastest characters in their verse. And we're starting it off with Sonic, and you can easily get Sonic to immeasurable speed as he's able to fly through the end of time to defeat the Time Eater. This creature is also capable of destroying all of time and space. And in Sonic Frontiers, the end is stated to transcend both laws and time, further supporting immeasurable speed Sonic. Yusei would also be on that same level of speed. Not only does it state that the designers are people that transcend time. Paradox in the Boss Beyond Time movie can travel through space and time. Heck, in that same movie, this nigga was able to time travel. Now I'm going to talk about something that Yusei acquired later in the series called Excel Synchro. Excel Synchro grants the user the ability to enter a state of peace where all forms of negativity are gone, and can then allow them to reach a place where their heart can control moments. Moment being an infinite power source that Neo Domino City created. This helps Yusei to evolve his synchro monsters to a new level of speed where they are able to reach a world of speed they've never seen before. Not only does this amplify his strength, but it also amplifies his speed, so much so that Yusei would use such speeds to travel to another dimension to get a free new Yu-Gi-Oh card, since he's too broke to afford one in his own reality. Okay, on a serious note though, I don't even blame Yusei, these cards are hella expensive. Okay, so now that we've established the speed category, let's talk about their strength. Again, we're starting with Sonic. Talk crap about Sonic 06 with the glitches and this bullshit. You have to admit that not only this game brought out the most goated theme song, it also showed the most impressive feat in the Sonic verse. By the end of the game, Sonic alongside Shadow and Silver fought an entity named Solaris. Solaris is a life form that exists in the past, present, and future, who was going to consume every existing timeline in the Sonic verse, meaning Solaris will be above the imaginary world, which is stated to be a fourth dimension, and the X-Salamander that is stated to transcend dimension, making Solaris a fifth dimensional entity. There's also the statement in the game that he is a super dimensional being, meaning Solaris is a sixth dimensional entity. Although this is why I thought Solaris capsat, there are some new infos in his skill now. If you remember, Solaris is a life form that exists in the past, present, and future, who was going to consume every existing timeline in the Sonic verse. Keep in mind, there is an infinite amount of these timelines in the verse, with one of those timelines being the Sonic Boom universe, which has the existence of string theory. And string theory is 11th dimensional in nature, meaning Solaris is a 17th dimensional entity. And yes, Sonic does scale above Solaris because in future games, he faces Infinite, who used to be the strongest enemy Sonic has ever faced. While I couldn't believe the BS Sega was saying. And can you blame me? He lost to Sonic in his base form.
Know your place, trash.
But after thinking about it, base Sonic has gotten stronger over the years.
Impossible. Your abilities exceed your previous data.
Unlike mechs, I can grow. I get more powerful every second.
And I have evidence for these statements to be true. In Sonic Adventure, Sonic only beats Perfect Chaos in his super form. But in Sonic Generation, he was able to beat him in his base form. Heck, even Silver, who dominated Sonic in 06, loses to him in Sonic Generations.
It's no use!
Shut up, bitch!
Oh!
so I guess we can take this statement with a grain of salt. Then it's later stated that Infinite is capable of breaking the boundaries of dimensions, scaling Infinite's dimensionality to 18D. And since Sonic was able to beat him in base form, that would mean that base Sonic is 18D. And finally, we're going to talk about the final villain of Sonic Frontiers, the End.
Oh, wow.
This thing just downright disrespected every Sonic villains in the past games.
You have fought machines and gods. They worked that night. I am Infinite.
He basically just called you all fathers.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
But unlike this clown, I can actually take this statement seriously, cause he pushes Sonic to the point that he had to unlock a new transformation, Super Sonic 2. Mid. Anyway, since Sonic was able to damage the End, this would mean that Sonic's dimensionality would at least be 19D. Overall, Sonic the Hedgehog is hyperversal with immeasurable speed. Why the hell do people still compare him with Goku? Anyway, now we're gonna talk about Yusei. And if we're gonna scale this dude, we need to talk about the second MC of Yu-Gi-Oh! Judai Yugi. I've already talked about his skill in my Goku vs Yugi video. And for the sake of me not repeating myself, I'm just gonna pull a clip from that video to this one. This puts him over characters like Jaden and Yubel, who can control the entire universe. The same universe that is stated to contain 12 dimensions. Now this is where I need to go into more detail, because a lot of people claim this is a low multiversal feat, thinking the dimensions are actually universes. But they actually scale higher than that. Let me explain. With these scans, notice how Yubel specifies the 12 universes compared to how she says the 12 dimensions. With everything seen regarding Yubel's feats, she specifies the difference between dimensions, aka Jigen, and universe, aka Uchu. Hence, essentially, what she is doing is controlling the universe with super polarization and ruling over the 12 dimensions.
僕にとって12の次元の宇宙とは10代と共に生きるための空間。
This is important because Yubel used the word Jigen, which is the word for dimensions in Japanese, and Jigen itself is commonly used as a way to describe mathematical dimensions, meaning Yubel's 12 dimensions of the universe are in fact mathematical dimensions, hence they are higher dimensions, meaning Yubel's feat is actually 12D. It also means that a universe in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is at least 13D because there are 12 mathematical spatial dimensions, plus one of time. Yubel is also stated to be extra dimensional, which makes her 14D. Alongside Jaden, and Yusei's ace monster Stardust Dragon was able to overpower Jaden. And yes, Yusei does scale to his monsters, mainly due to how monsters within Yu-Gi-Oh! Are just the manifestation of your soul, and you need to have enough spirit energy to summon these beings. And to add more to their dimensionality, Yugi alongside Jaden and Yusei defeated Paradox, who had a different mathematical dimension depth compared to the trio, so in this case, it's 15D.
私のデッキはあらゆる時代から最強カードを集めた別次元の領域。
What's even crazy is that this all took place before the WRPG. Yusei also has a higher dimensional monster in his deck.
ライフガードナーにレベル1の異次元の精霊をチューニング。ディメンジョンシュート。
This would upscales Yusei's dimensionality. Now we're gonna talk about Antinomy, the only member of Iliaster I actually liked. Anyway, Yusei was able to match Antinomy, who was able to use infinite power to head beyond dimensions in order to excel synchro. This will also mean that Excel Synchro allows the user to go to a higher plane of existence. He then went even beyond that as he uses infinite power to break the boundaries of time and space to reach Delta Excel Synchro. And Yusei, like the Chad he is, was able to surpass his limits once again in order to beat Bruno. With these feats, this drastically upscales Yusei's dimensionality to 19D. Then he once again surpassed his limits to show the coolest cutscene in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
新たな絆が未来を照らす光さす道となれリミットオーバーアクセルシンクロ進化の光シューティングクエーサードラゴン
Chills. Literal chills.
Overall, Yusei Fudo is hyperversal with immeasurable speed. Over here is their hacks and abilities, and I have to give this one to Yusei because he does have an advantage over Sonic. Not only can he summon powerful monsters within his deck to fight Sonic, but he can also negate Sonic hacks and abilities, which will give Sonic a lot of disadvantage. Now that that's out of the way, I'm going to give my verdict. Though This fight is really close, but I have to say the winner will be Yusei due to his hack's advantage over Sonic. Although you can also make the same argument of Yusei having higher dimensionality than Sonic, but it really depends on the context. But anyways, what do you guys think? Do you agree with my take? Is there something I missed in Sonic? Just let me know in the comments down below. Sorry this video took so long to make. I've been super busy with a lot of stuff, and also with the shit that's been going on in WWE. #we want Cody.